the main event that we're going to continue to see more and more because she is a pillar of the AEW period and a pillar of the AEW women's division. The DMD Britt Baker had her title on the line tonight against a former champion Riho, which, like, as we talk, let's do it together. The
D, baby.
Title on the line against someone she has not beat yet, and then announce team did great hyping this match up, giving us more and more backstory to this whole feud as well. And the power in numbers with the DMD squad worked in her favor for a while, but all in all, man, it was a dominant performance by both women. I think both showed excellent in-ring work, and this was one of those matches that it was to me, it was better than Britt's last few pay-per-view and title defenses match. This is one of her best title defense match, period. Against Riho, the former champ. I think they wrestled really well, chemistry together. They traded a lot of good big spots and physical spots. And so to date, this could be her best title defense. Yeah. And tell me why.
Because Britt Britt's at her best when she can wrestle like a powerhouse.
Okay.
When she had that match against Thunder and that street fight, the unsanctioned match, you go back and watch Britt, the air raid crash, Britt being able to showcase Britt's actually got some size for being in the women's division. Britt is actually pretty strong and pretty big compared to a lot of these women in the division. And she carries herself with strength. When Britt's able to be in the driver's seat of a match, and picture in picture came again as the freaking, I can understand why you're on Team Babyface and how much you hate Team Heel, because I was sitting on the couch. I was like, man, picture in picture is the biggest heel in AEW. Because Britt dominated through the commercial break.
Not wrong.
Just absolutely dominated through the commercial break. And then we got back to seeing Riho's fired up comeback, but it's just like, I love seeing Britt wrestle like a bully, and I get it. A lot of her matches, she always has to rely on outside interference. There's a lot of cheating with her championship defenses to this point.
Typical
and that is
heel fashion.
And again, that does get old sometimes, and that's what I like when we get to see Britt really command a match and showcase her strength. I love that as a heel. I love that she's always got tricks up her sleeve. But there were moments in this match where it felt like, all right, Britt's just really wearing down, and she almost was overcoming the odds herself with how Jamie Hayter felt like there were moments when she was sabotaging Britt. But Riho was a nice counter to Britt because Riho's size allowed Britt to really, as the champ, bully the underdog opponent as the babyface, and that worked really, really well. When you have Britt, as we talked about it during this feud, but when Britt was going against Nyla, Britt almost became the babyface in that feud because it's so hard for anyone to be a heel against Nyla Rose because Nyla is so powerful. So Britt being able to lean into her size and bullying around Riho in this match, really, I love when Britt stomps in the corner. Some of those at Riho look nasty. It looks like she was really kicking the crap out of Riho in some of these. But Riho's fun to watch in that she's kind of bendy and she's like it's like she's Gumby in there. She's bendy, she's always squirming around. She's hard to get locked down. I really like that vibe that we got from Riho, where it's just like you never know how to keep this plucky, spunky underdog down. It was really a fun matchup that she kept everybody on their toes for.
This is another accolade for the DMD main event, the first woman main event of the inaugural Rampage, main event at the Battle of the Belts the first time. Just keep adding those accolades to the list.
There's another person on the list that she's beaten. I mean,
who do you want to see her face next? I know we could potentially, I saw on the channel earlier, potentially a 3-on-3 battle with a Ruby and maybe forming a squad or something like that, or a temporary, if they run back. I know that we saw the tag team on Rampage, but if they did a 3-on-3, but who do you see as we're here with the new year, DMD's next contender for the title?
Well, you're certainly seeing on the tea leaves, it's easy to start seeing that Jamie Hayter is going to be
True.
pipeline at some point, dude. I mean,
She hit her in the face on Rampage. We saw a little tension on Battle of the Belts.
Tonight, Riho hit Britt into Jamie. Jamie multiple times during this match, it felt like, Thunder Rosa has to be laughing somewhere because it felt like her assistance to Britt was really undermining her when getting out the table and that backfiring against Britt, getting out the title belt and throwing it into the ring, backfiring against Britt at moments, getting Rebel thrown out. So they're certainly planting that seed that Jamie Hayter will eventually be in the pipeline. Obviously, I also would love to see Thunder Rosa and Britt at some point. It feels like Thunder now is kind of off to going against with Jade and Mercedes Martinez. She's kind of got her own thing going. So maybe they're delaying that even further. Who else jumps out to you, though? I mean, there's not a lot of names that Britt hasn't beaten. Britt's certainly her championship run at this point. She's knocking down people left and right.
Yeah, I was just seeing the chat, Statlander. I mean, there's not many top tier baby faces that I could see stepping up for the belt right now. I mean, the rankings reset this year, all in all, they reset after the first of the year. And so you're looking at the ranking system as well, with fresh rankings and who stands out, I'm trying to pull up the rankings for the women's division. You have Riho at top, Statlander, Thunder, Ty, and Ruby. And so obviously she beat Ruby, she beat Ty. She hasn't beat Thunder. She hasn't faced Statlander. So Statlander, obviously based on the rankings, kind of seem like next in line. But I can't see that happening right now because Statlander is kind of involved with what's going on with Layla Hirsch, which I'm all for that. I think that's a fantastic to see Layla more and kind of turning a heel as well. So who do you want to see her go against?
What about the winner of Deeb versus Shida?
Yeah,
I mean, because let's be honest, that we've talked how many times have we talked about Deeb and Shida being one of the best feuds in all of AEW right now? I mean, we've said it countless times. It's clearly that feud is on fire right now. Right. Those two women are pushing each other to another level, and I think we've been blown away by the quality of that in-ring work, and I love the fire that it's bringing out of Shida. I love that kind of that Bret Hart. You're going to put some respect on my name type of attitude that Deeb has right now. With JR, that promo, like basically what woman on this roster is on my level? And JR even said it. I don't know if any of them are on your level, Deeb, in the ring. So that would be a nice way to add even more stakes to that incredible feud between those two women. The winner of that emerges. And dude, has Britt beaten Shida? Since winning the title, when has Shida gotten her rematch?
She hasn't. You're right.
Usually the champ gets a rematch. Shida would get. Seems like it would make a lot of sense. And Deeb against Britt would be. Let's be honest. Deeb against anybody, it brings out maybe one of the better matches of that person's portfolio. So I would love that feud to lead to something of consequence.
Yeah.
And I would be all for seeing Deeb or Shida go against Britt for the title. I think either one of them could have a very compelling feud with the doctor.
I would think like Deeb is so good in the ring and such in-ring general. My money would be on Deeb.
Her versus Britt would be awesome, and like that would be phenomenal. But Shida, dude, you got to think Shida's got something. There's got to be something a little personal. I would hope that Shida, deep down, wants to get past Deeb so that she can, like, when is she gonna get her rematch? You would hope that there would, if you're Shida, if you're a fan of Shida, you want to see Shida tired of being passed over, and maybe it starts with Britt saying, "Who else can touch me?" I don't know. I don't necessarily. I think Statlander is a contender, but I don't think that Statlander has been presented as even though she's in the upper echelon of the rankings and is obviously she's been a powerhouse in this division. I just don't think she's been presented as a legit challenger to Britt yet. I personally, I think that Deeb and Sheeta, those two women, we saw it in the title tournament. These two, to make that winner then become the number one contender, it makes too much sense not to go that direction. And the end result, you get a hell of a match.
You're absolutely right, and it's a win-win for us all.